Barely Emerging is recorded on the lands of the Kaurna people. We at Haunted Cow Collective acknowledge the Kaurna people and all other Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples as the sovereign custodians of this country. We pay our respects to elders past and present. This always was and always will be Aboriginal land.
The loser, Francis.
Yeah, the one that said, oh, put these in a cupboard, I don't want to look at them.
The fucking square, Francis. And then you have some guy blowing a butt trumpet just in the corner of the page. What up, fam? Hope you're hungry. Today we're here with some 2-minute doodles because we're talking about penis art. Welcome to 2-minute Googles.
With doodles.
2-minute Googles with a lot of doodles this episode. A lot of doodles. We are looking at Greco-Roman penis art and, more importantly, medieval marginalia. If you've ever seen those like memes where it's like a nun picking penises from a tree.
Yep.
Oh, we're talking about that.
Love it.
So you are here with Francis.
And Sid. So today I will be talking about the Greco-Roman penises.
Take us through that penis art, baby.
I will. It's not necessarily just penis art, it's the sexuality of the Greco-Roman and how it was suppressed. So the censorship of ancient sexuality is best typified by the removal of genitalia, most famously from the Vatican Museum, and of them casting and carving fig leaves to cover over all of the weens and vaginas. Lol. But phallic symbols within ancient art or ancient objects depicted on Hermes or Pan and all other deities in many other art forms. They're not really associated with erotica. Sometimes they are for protection, for fertility, or for healing. Suppression of ancient sexuality in 1819 was when the secret cabinet was founded. Mysterious, I know.
What the fuck is the secret cabinet?
I'm glad you asked, Francis.
Okay, good.
So the secret cabinet was when Francis, not our Francis, a different Francis, a man Francis.
Yeah, I'm not cool enough to be that guy.
Francis I, King of Naples, visited a museum with his wife and daughter. They were shocked. He was shocked, sorry. I don't know about the wife and the daughter.
Oh, she was probably vibing with it.
Yeah. He was shocked by the explicit imagery and it ordered all items of a sexual nature to be locked in a certain cabinet. And the access was only restricted to those of, and I quote, mature age and respected morals. So this means only male scholars.
What if you had one of the two? Like you were mature age, but you didn't have respectable morals.
Oh, well then you don't get to see the secret cabinet garden.
Respectable morals, but you're just under mature.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Tough tits.
So the cabinet was then opened in the 2000s with high protests from the Catholic Church, of course. And then since 2005, the items are still not with the original artwork. So they're in a separate room still. So the original artworks where they first were shown were Francis, not our Francis, the male Francis.
The loser Francis.
Yeah, the one that said, oh, put these in a cupboard, I don't want to look at them.
The fucking square Francis couldn't handle a bit of penis.
So since then, they're still in a separate room. They're not with the original works that they first came with.
So what did they take? Like what's in the cabinet?
Well, I had a picture and I do not know if it's the same stuff because I don't know if the censorship is still in place that like you can only go and see.
You're not mature and you don't have respectable morals.
Yeah, so or the internet's not mature and doesn't have respectable morals, which is fair.
Oh yeah, no, they've been on Reddit. They're like, you guys are fucked.
Yeah, no, there was the works in the secret cabinet. If they are the same as the picture of the article that I read, just sculpted penises.
Oh, okay, like ancient dildos.
Yeah, well, I don't think they were dildos, but like you never know.
Probably were.
Yeah.
So I've just done a 1-minute Google of the cabinet, the Cabinet of Curiosities, no, the Secret Cabinet.
The Secret Garden.
Because I was like, I need to see this shit.
Yeah.
It was from Pompeii.
Yeah.
It's from ancient Pompeii and
Herculean.
No, because it would have a weird name like Herculaneum or something like that. But yeah, from fucking Pompeii and Herculaneum, like erotic frescoes, depictions of the god Priapus, sexually explicit symbols and inscriptions, household items such as phallic oil lamps. That is fucking cool. Yeah. I like, one of my favorite things about Pompeii is that they uncovered like graffiti. And it was, you know, still shit on there that was just like, you know, Artemis has a big dick and stuff like that. So it's like humans just haven't fucking changed.
Yeah.
But if you go onto the Wikipedia, we have a couple of examples from the gallery. So there is a wall painting from Herculaneum of the goddess Hermaphroditus, which it's a small image on my phone, but it looks fantastic. There is a sculpture depicting sex, and I quote, in the doggy position.
Yep.
There is an amphora with anal sex between two males from the 5th century BCE. There is a sexual scene from Pompeii in the Secret Museum, which is literally just a fresco that, even though the paint is chipped away, you can clearly see what is going on there. There is a sexual scene from Pompeii part 2, sexual scene from Pompeii part 3.
Yep.
So there is just a lot of like paintings and frescoes from Pompeii, which is pretty much just
people
like
having sex.
Yeah, it's just Pornhub, but Pompeii Hub.
One of the big ones that
really nothing for Pompeii Hub.
Oh, sorry. I was like on the next thing that I was going to say.
Oh, also one of the most famous objects in the Naples Museum collection from the 1st century is Pan copulating with a goat.
Yes, that's what I was just about to bring up.
It's a beautiful looking marble statue of a horned devil man trying to fuck a goat.
Not trying to. The penis is in there.
Oh,
man.
it is? Okay,
yeah,
I don't have that angle.
There's a different angle of it from the ones that I was looking at, and he is very much not trying to. He's in there.
Great. Now I have this on my fucking search history. Pan copulating with... Oh, no, damn, he's in there.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
I'm like in incognito mode, just so the FBI guy on my phone isn't like, what the fuck are you doing?
It's gonna turn some heads. Like it's that bestiality sort of stuff that because Pan
we're still not cool with, and we should never be cool with. Yeah.
I don't think so. But because Pan is neither human nor goat, it brings up a bit of issue and all that sort of stuff. So even now, but like if you think about how the repression of sexual art forms has molded what we see today and modesty culture and all that sort of stuff today, I do really wonder if that's the start of it. Like if you've got the Roman Catholic sort of church come in and has put Pompeii in a cabinet. I don't know where I'm going with this. I'm just kind of like...
Well, you said that this all started in 1819.
Yeah.
You know, with the secret cabinet. So was that around, like, you know, when they did that thing where they went through all of like the church art and the sculptures and stuff and put like fig leaves on them?
Yeah.
You know, because it's like when they were first painted, they were like full frontal.
Yeah.
You know, it's like they did like an after the fact censorship when, you know, people's, you know, dispositions, I suppose, got a little bit too delicate to be going to church and staring at that shit.
Yeah. So, yeah, the fig leaves were not the secret cabinet. The secret cabinet was like, shut these in a cupboard so that no one else can see it unless you're like, you know, male and a scholar. The Vatican was covering the weens and vaginas with fig leaves. And also they were removing the genitalia, so they were actually just...
I have seen a few sculptures in my time where, like, yeah, the dick, for lack of a better word, has just been smashed off. Yeah.
So that's a suppression tactic, I guess you could say.
I see. My natural assumption was just like that was just a vandalism response. You know, like someone back in the day was just like, "That's hilarious. I'm going to take the dick home."
Yeah, or you know, in transit, it's been broken off.
In transit, air quotes. Yeah.
No, it was actually the Vatican or other museums that because it wasn't just the Vatican that did it. It was other places that were kind of removing the genitalia because it was we're too sensitive, too spicy for us. So that leads into, you know, the depictions of genitalia on Greek and Roman. They were usually smaller. So when it came to anyone humanoids, they would have smaller penises, and anything that was like bestial, air quotes, or anyone that they wanted to, like, the Artemis has a big dick.
Yeah.
When they wanted to say that someone was bestial, or it was
Like
actually
boorish.
it was it was actually a payout to say that someone had a big dick in those days.
Yeah.
So anytime someone depicted anyone with a big penis, it would mean that they're like kind of foolish, kind of boorish,
They're dumb.
kind of they're
Yeah,
closer to beast than they are human.
Yeah, I think, and I'm half remembering, but yeah, I think there was something like there was a correlation between like the bigger your dick was, the smaller your brain was.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is why, a lot of, like sculptures of, like great thinkers of the day, like were usually robed, but if they weren't, it was like
tiny
micro penis. Yeah.
Yep. So that's very different from
today's standards.
Because I think when it came to full frontal nudity, the nudity of the day then, it wasn't sexual. Like it wasn't for sexuality's sake.
No.
But when we look at it now, we're looking at it from the lens of having this modesty culture. So if they are standing there nude, they must be presenting themselves for sexual
like
reasons.
There's no other reason for you to be disrobed.
Yeah.
Fucking interesting. I'm just, Pompeii keeps on giving.
Yeah, no, when
Pompeii
I saw
is one of my favorite like historical landmarks.
Yeah, when I saw the secret cabinet, I was just like, the secret what?
Yeah.
Are you kidding?
I looked up because when I was Googling like secret cabinet, it came up with secret cabinet movie and I was like, oh.
Is this like the bad version of The Secret Garden?
Yeah. Or I was like, is this like a docuseries and you're going to take me through every sordid artifact? So I, in true student fashion, left this last minute.
I love it.
Didn't really do much research at all, but I was in charge of Googling medieval marginalia. Well, specifically, I was charged with looking up, like nudity in medieval art.
Yeah.
Because, like Greeks and Romans, very different to European medieval. Sid is balls deep in her phone right now.
I'm sorry. I am looking at a marginalia of what looks like a human face, dog legs, sniffing the arse of someone with human legs and some sort of animal face.
Oh, that's fantastic. So a bit of a background on medieval marginalia. So back in medieval times, there was a profession pretty much called a scribe. So before they had the printing press, if they wanted to distribute things or, like copy things or publish things, you'd have your scribes do it for you.
Yeah.
A lot of the time, I don't know, they just like to doodle in the margins. It's something that has never really, humans have been doing that. Like that fucking S that everyone would try and draw. Yeah. Marginalia.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so it's one of those. But funnily enough, there has been theories that a lot of scribes were illiterate. Like, if you were just hired to copy it down, it was more like you were drawing than anything else.
You didn't need to know what the word said or meant.
Exactly. So,
and sometimes maybe they didn't even want the scribes to be able to read.
Yeah,
depending on
the context of it. There is a really great example of this, and a lot of the marginalia, it's like they've found it all throughout, just dispersed randomly throughout like medieval text, and they're in the collection of Oxford and Cambridge and other kind of quote unquote Ivy League schools. So they didn't know the words that they were copying down. Yeah, that's why a lot of the time the drawings don't match the gravity of the text. Yeah, like you have this really kind of pious religious text, and then you have some guy blowing a butt trumpet just in the corner of the page. It's great.
The cherubs.
It's the cherubs, exactly. And one of like some of my favorite examples of medieval marginalia were drawn by like one lady. So a lady called Jeanne De Montbaston. Her and her husband Richard were scribes in Paris somewhere, possibly a convent. I don't quite know. I can't find a lot of information.
Long ago, yeah.
But yeah, in like this random sequence of illuminations in this like margin, she did like, it's like this great picture, and it looks like this really sheepish looking monk handing this huge penis to this really worried looking nun. And she's kind of looking at it like, thank you.
Yeah, she's got her hands out, just kind of like
all right, okay.
And we love the perspective of these ones, because this is when like perspective wasn't really
they didn't
a
have
thing.
like 3-point perspective just yet.
Yeah.
So
it's the arms are like kind of,
Like,
and you
okay.
can't see me doing this right now, but they're on the same line.
They got them hieroglyphic arms.
Yeah.
And it's like, and all the dicks are just huge.
Yeah.
So like she did that one. I'm pretty sure it was her who did the famous nun picking penises off trees.
It's definitely the same.
It looks like the same lady.
The dicks have the same hue.
The red tip.
And the red tip.
Red tip. Yeah.
And the lady looks exactly like the nun in the first one.
There is like also her work. She has, it's like a nun putting penises into a basket, but then she also has two nuns picking penises off the same penis tree. So a bit of sisterhood going on there.
Yeah.
We have another one that she's done where it's just a monk leading. It looks like another monk, but he's got like a white robe. But he's just leading him by the dick. Like there's like a leash on the penis.
Yes, I've seen that one.
Yeah.
Yep.
And there's just so many great examples, and they're not all penis based. Like sometimes it's just like this. There was one that I saw, it wasn't the same lady, but it was two guys engaged in a duel, but they were both holding their own decapitated heads. Like they'd lost the duel, but they were still fighting, which I thought was quite good.
Oh yeah, I think I can see it. It's like the white one and then a very blue looking one, and he's got an arrow.
Yeah. There's also a great one I've just found here. It looks like some guy, he either has it, I don't know what the fuck that body is. It looks almost like a bird. He has a fist coming out of one hand, which has what looks like a baseball bat, but for the time is probably closer to a baguette in one hand and a penis in the other.
Yeah.
And it's just fucking brilliant. And it's like, I would love, like, the fact that these are just, again, they're just doodles in a margin, but like, because they're all illuminated manuscripts, and it's done with like the most, like all of the lettering is done with the most incredible penmanship. And then you just have the penis tree in the corner of the page. Yeah. Like it fills me with so much joy. Yeah. And it's like, I don't even need to do a lot of research on this because it fucking speaks for itself.
It does.
What book isn't like elevated by the appearance
of a penis tree.
Exactly. Of a random guy nakedly riding a huge snail. Like, it is just fantastic. And I honestly think that more books need this.
Yeah.
You know, like, fuck, half the textbooks at uni I would have gotten through in a fucking flash.
Yeah, if I just wanted to get to the next page.
Farting out the sun in the top margin.
I want to know what the penis duel is going to happen on the next page.
Yeah.
Like, I'll read through the whole text if I can get to that next page.
I want to know what sis who is riding a penis on wheels, I want to know where she's going. She's got places to be. I want to know where they are.
Where do you go?
Where are you going?
On a penis. Well, okay.
What's the cost to fill that, you know?
Yeah.
Fucking crazy. But yeah, well, that was my 2 cents for this episode.
I like that 2 cents. That was a great 2 cents.
Yeah. For the listeners, this probably isn't going to be fantastic because a lot of it is like, just please,
looking down.
please go to our Instagram.
Yeah.
Treat yourselves. You need to look at these pictures of the illuminated manuscripts.
Yeah.
You need to see the penis tree.
Yeah. And have a Google of the secret cabinet.
Oh, we'll put that on Instagram too.
Yeah.
I mean, we might not be able to put the explicit pan fucking a goat statue, but
there's another one at a different angle.
We'll have the partially censored version.
Just know that he is definitely in there.
Oh, he's in there.
I don't know why you'd need to know that, but
well, that's it for this week. Hope it was an enlightening episode for you. So what we learned today was Francis I, King of Naples, was a fucking loser, and
put some penises in a cabinet.
Yeah, and
for all the men to look at.
For all the men to look at? Question mark. And that medieval scribes needed, I don't care what they were paid, but they needed to be paid more.
Yeah.
All right, well, head over to our socials to get a good look at those. That is on Instagram at Barely Emerging or at Haunted Cow Collective. We cross-post to both. We also have a website, hauntedcow.com.au.
Thanks, guys. Thanks.
No one scribes like Montbaston. You have been listening to Barely Emerging, a podcast by Haunted Cow Collective. You can find us on Instagram at Haunted Cow Collective, look for the spooky cow, or follow along at Barely Emerging for updates on new episodes and behind the scenes. You can also visit us at hauntedcow.com.au. This podcast is made by emerging artists for emerging artists, and together we are Barely Emerging.